This episode is brought to you by Kia's first three-row, all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute and available lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
Happy holidays from all of us at the Kim Commando Show and Kim Commando Today. This is a replay of Kim Commando Today. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next year.
I always like to start with something interesting, and let me ask you a question. If you were expecting a refund from a company, say $68, and then suddenly in your bank account was deposited $7.7 million, what would you do? Okay. Would you call them up and say, oh my gosh, you guys and gals made such a huge mistake? Or would you buy your sister a $1.3 million house? Okay, that's what one woman did when Crypto.com sent her a $7.7 million refund that was supposed to be $68. It happened in Australia, and now they're in the court system trying to get the money back. They have to sell the house. You know, I started thinking about this. Crypto.com, they probably thought that they paid her in like Dogecoin or something like that. And let me tell you, cryptocurrency is crashing so bad that I heard that ransomware gangs, that's right, they're now demanding payments instead of Bitcoin in rubles. That's right. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this. It's America's largest show about all things digital. We talk about all the gadgets and gizmos, your online privacy and security, how to make money, how to save money, what's going on with the internet. I mean, the list just goes on and on, because after all, it is called the Kim Commando Show because I'm America's digital pro, Kim Commando, here with you once again. And you can find us on over 425 top stations throughout the United States. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. To find me, just search for my last name, Commando. And you can find us streaming as a podcast, as a webcast, 24/7 over at getkim.com. Love that. You get 3 months of archives, and it's also commercial free. 30 days. That's right, over at getkim.com. And of course, you can also hear us on the American Forces Network Radio. I love this, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea. Get the Kim Commando Show. And I'm sure you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. Once again, is the way to join us. All right, I scour the news wires and all these different sites, and I talk to industry insiders every single day to bring you up to date with this, just the 5 things that you need to know about tech. And in this part of the show, I like to focus on tech news and what is happening in our world. And for our first news item, let's go back only 5 years ago when Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook's guy, was off touring all 50 states and kissing babies and eating apple pie, laying the framework down to have a future political career. Then came this long list of scandals, and the boy billionaire decided, I don't think I'm going to be president of the United States. So how about if I be king of the metaverse? And let's talk about how that's going. Well, the reviews from the video gaming press are devastating. Zuckerberg's metaverse avatar has a problem. It has no legs. Neither does anyone else in the metaverse. And as it appears, neither does the metaverse itself. It's DOA. Last week on the Joe Rogan show, Zuck attempted to rebrand himself. He wanted to become this alpha male, and he talked about he is a 3-sport varsity athlete, and his hobby is, quoting now, wrestling with friends. That's what he does. The online joke is that Zuck's metaverse legacy is not going to be it. It may be something someday. The technology isn't here quite yet. It's a long way off, and I just don't think it's going to be coming with Zuckerberg in charge. And I'll tell you, I have talked about the metaverse, and then I've gotten some email just to let people know that, this is not the same thing as augmented reality, virtual reality. I mean, it's totally different things. The metaverse is where you have this avatar-like character, and this is where you're going to live, work, and play instead of being outside in the real world. Number 2 on our list, yes, the screen is killing you. It's your worst fear come true. As you gaze into your computer screen, that blue light that it emits is literally making you age faster. That's right. The research is coming from Oregon State University, and here's what they found. Long hours of exposure of the blue light emitted from everyday devices. I'm talking about your TVs, your laptops, tablets, your smart speaker screens, your desktop, your phone. It has a detrimental effect on a wide range of cells in our bodies, from skin cells to sensory neurons to levels of specific metabolites. The chemicals essential for cells to function correctly are being altered by this blue light. Now, you may be thinking that you see all the colors of the spectrum on your screen, and you do, but when you see anything that's white or light color, here's the problem. It's primarily high energy blue light. And there is one spot of good news here. Looking at screens from e-readers and the like, it doesn't seem to be harmful. But, think about this. Brain cells die, skin cells die, hair cells die, but fat cells, wow, they are different. They must have accepted Jesus because they have just eternal life, those fat cells, I'll tell you. Number 3 on our list, Tesla is having a hiring spree for motor and accentuator designers and engineers, but not for SpaceX, not for Starlink, not for Neuralink, and not for that boring company that's building tunnels, like, for example, under Las Vegas to eliminate all the traffic. And not also to help take care of all the kids that he's fathered. I don't know if you know this, but it seems like Elon Musk and Nick Cannon, they are in a race for that title. I think Nick Cannon is winning. Now he has 10 kids and Elon Musk has 8. But anyway, Tesla's hiring for its humanoid Optimus robot program because we've been looking at robots for how many years, right? George Jetson had Rosie. Robin Williams played the robot butler Andrew in Bicentennial Man. They've been the stuff of movies for decades now, but where are they? So Elon Musk promises to unveil Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot on Friday, September 30th, which is known as AI Day, just a few weeks from today. Musk is banking on 2 versions, one to replace humans in boring or dangerous jobs, he says, and the other to work in private homes, cooking, mowing lawns, vacuuming, maybe even caring for the elderly. Now, both versions are 5'8", and they weigh about 150 pounds. They can pick up heavy objects. The cost, around $10,000. Let's just hope they work better than Tesla's autopilot. Oh, that thing doesn't work. Number 4 on our list of 5 things, the future is here, and we don't care how many bars we have in more places. Okay, we've all heard stories of people hiking, getting lost, and other emergencies, tragically dying because they had no phone signal to call for help. Now, very soon, the smartphone we carry around will use satellite technology that promises a cell phone signal anywhere. Now, here's the thing. We are in the middle of this huge communication disruption right now. Think about it. We're going to go from cell phones that only work in certain places to cell phones with a satellite connection that really works anywhere we have a view of the night sky, or any sky, as a matter of fact. Now, there are about 500,000 square miles in the United States that have no cell phone signals from any carrier. So as long as you have a view of the sky, you can be able to call or text. Now, satellite phone service, it's not meant to replace your carrier. It's meant to be side by side your current plan. Now, T-Mobile was the first company to announce a deal with SpaceX. And also look for a big push in satellite technology on September 7th when Apple announces its new line of iPhones. And finally, there is this at number 5. Airdropping in the air is really a dumb idea. Now, Apple has this really wonderful feature called AirDrop. It allows you to wirelessly send documents, photos, videos, websites, locations, anything that you have to a nearby Mac, iPhone, iPad, or even an iPod Touch. Now, if you want to AirDrop a photo, for example, you just open the photo on your phone, and then there's a list of nearby devices who are able to accept that photo. It pops up, and it's just sent to them. There's no email. It's easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Now, AirDrop settings have 2 options. You can accept AirDrop photos from everyone or just people in your contact list. And of course, we've been stressing for so many years that you set your AirDrop settings to just folks on your contact list. Now, the reason why I bring all this up is apparently there was a prankster on a Southwest Airlines flight this past week who decided to AirDrop nudes to other people on the plane when they were leaving the gate and getting on the tarmac to fly off. Now, the captain of the Southwest Airlines flight wasn't too happy about it, and here's what he said to the passengers on the flight. Take a listen.
So this continues while we're on the ground. I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off. We're going to have to get security involved, and it's vacation that's going to be ruined. So you folks, whatever that AirDrop thing is, quit sending naked pictures. Let's get yourself to Cabo.
Okay. I mean, think about that. That's a line that this captain thought he would never say on any flight at any time, that airdropping thing. They never found the person, but saying, I didn't know I was airdropping nude pictures to other people on a plane, that excuse, it's just not going to fly. All right, coming up, we have the trick to find spyware running on your PC or Mac that you don't want to miss. Oh, and this is really wonderful. I'm going to tell you how you can store 100,000 songs in the cloud for free. So let's say you have your vinyl collection, maybe even cassettes or whatever you have, and you want to put that music in the cloud. I have a place where you can put 100,000 songs absolutely free, no charge. And then in our digital privacy tip, we're going to be talking about mistakes that you're making with your home security system that actually makes you less safe. And I have to tell you, I was guilty of one of these on the list, and I'll tell you which one that is. We have also the 3 steps that you need to know about before you trade in or you sell a phone, because after all, as I mentioned briefly, is that we do have that big announcement coming up on September 7th. And so I want to make sure that if you're going to be getting rid of an old phone and buying a new phone, that you do it the safe way. And of course, we have all of your fantastic phone calls from coast to coast here on the Kim Komando Show.
How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open, and I'm sure you have at least a few questions, and I want to hear from you at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're just too shy to speak in front of, I don't know, a couple of million people, I totally get that. Even I get nervous from time to time. Just head over to the website, that's komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. Once again, that's komando.com, of course, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. All right, we have some tricks for finding spyware running on your PC or Mac just moments away, but before we get to that, Ursula in Ontario, Canada. Let's start with you. Hi there, Ursula.
Hello, this is so exciting.
Oh, it's exciting for me too. It is. I love what I do. How can I help you out?
Thank you. Well, camping, I have my phone, and I cannot get anything anywhere around the lake. Now, there are mountains there, but if I walk out on certain docks, certain ones really far towards the water, then every once in a while I can get a little bit of internet, and then that's about it. So I was wondering, I thought, is there anything that I can do to boost that so that I can get internet, basically just for communicating with friends or whatever that didn't come with us? And that was my question.
Sure. But when you are camping, and isn't it nice to have like that whole digital detox for a while, right? So it's like, I'm not there. It's wonderful to have that.
That's true.
It is. I really enjoy that. But you miss some things, though. It's like, you still want to pick up your phone to do things, and it's almost, you have to break that habit. But now there are a couple of things you can do. Let's say if you go out on the dock and on your campsite, you may be able to buy a booster, if you will. And it's a cell phone signal booster, works with all the carriers, and they're about $200. But if the signal isn't strong enough because of the mountains, that's where we come into a real issue. Okay. And the cell booster, if you do buy it, just make sure that it comes with a 30-day money back guarantee, just in case it doesn't work. Now, there is an alternative, okay, that I don't know if it's available in Ontario, because I'm only really familiar with its coverage in the United States, but it may be, is that Elon Musk, Ursula, has this company called Starlink. And I don't know, have you ever heard of Starlink? Have you ever heard of Starlink?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's putting up all these satellites in orbit so that this way he's going to blanket the entire globe with internet access. As a matter of fact, it was so cool the other night. It was about 10:40 at night, And I walked outside and I watched the booster go out from Vandenberg Air Force Base, and it flew right over our house, which I thought was just simply amazing that was able to happen. And then I guess Elon Musk was launching, I don't know, like 400 odd rockets into the sky. So with Starlink, as a matter of fact, I just installed it as a backup ISP for my house. With Starlink, it's so easy. You just buy it, shows up, literally takes 5 minutes to put it all together, and pretty decent coverage. We're talking about, to say, 150 megabits down and maybe, 5 going back up, which is really good when you think about that it's satellite. And from my particular house, the app shows I need to have a better view of the northern sky, so we're just positioning the antenna. But the reason why I bring all that up is that it's $500 for the antenna from Starlink, and then it's roughly $110 a month, okay, for the service. Now, if you are a Starlink customer, they offer you the ability to take that Starlink package with you, and you have to buy another antenna, I think. But the whole thing will cost you just $25 extra a month, so that you'd have Starlink satellite internet access to your home, and then you could carry the Starlink router, which is, about the size of a big book. You just carry it with you. And then you have, for an extra $25 a month, you can have internet access at that speed, maybe even a little bit more or less depending upon the congestion. And then you can take that with you, like I said, for like $25 a month. So if you are camping, if you're on a boat or whatever it may be, and then even in an RV, and then you want to take that with you, that you can do that, which I think is a very, very innovative marketing angle when you think about it. Because before now, we really didn't have that option. We'd buy a booster for $200 and pray and hope it works. And now we can carry this Starlink antenna. Now, I will tell you that what I have read about Starlink, and in doing all the research to have it as a backup ISP for us, because as we're doing the show, we always need to have a backup ISP, is that in major cities, there could be some congestion. So it really works well if you're not, say, downtown Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, those type of places. But it is an innovative idea. So check out the booster. I'll post a link over at commando.com, and where we also have some other tech that you might want to carry with you camping, including some extra power banks, a spot GPS. If you're going to be hiking alone, that's always really, really important for you to have. And I'll post that over inside the Commando community. In case you're wondering where that is, you head to commando.com/community. And then there's the Q&A forum, and that's where I post some links from the show. So, Ursula, thank you so much for your call. Hey, listen, as promised, spyware is malicious software that works quietly in the background, tracking everything that you do, your account numbers, your passwords, your searches, everything. And they do leave digital clues. So if you're on a PC, I want you to open Task Manager. On a Mac, you open Activity Monitor. And what you do is you go through the list of processes. And I mentioned this briefly on a show recently, and then I've been getting a lot of email. That's why I wanted to bring it up again. And so what you do is you look at this entire list. And if there's something on that list that you're just not familiar with, just Google search that particular name of the file, and then typically then you can find out more about it. And if in fact spyware, we've got tons of tips over on the website to help you eradicate it and remove it forever. Hey, listen, stay right where you are. We have our digital life hacks tip coming up and more of your phone calls you don't want to miss.
How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
All right, before we go back to all of your phone calls, and also we have our digital life hack and our privacy tip coming up. is, let's say you have a bunch of vinyl records, CDs, or even cassettes just laying around. Well, it's time to put them in the cloud, folks. It is. So this way you can listen to your tunes in your car, at home, while exercising, or even when you're camping or on vacation. Now, here's a secret way to store 100,000 songs for free and always have access to each and every one of them. I'm talking about YouTube Music. Now, if you don't already have a YouTube account, just make one. Tap your profile picture from the menu. You just click on Upload Music. And then here you select all the tracks on your hard drive that you want to be stored on YouTube servers for free. Now, there is an important gotcha you need to know. No, it doesn't cost, but this uploading music only works when you're using YouTube Music on a desktop or laptop computer. You cannot upload music from your phone or your tablet. Now, after your music is all uploaded, you can make playlists, you can get fancy with your music, listen to music on the go, just download the YouTube Music app on your device, and then you just sign into your account, and then it just works. And speaking of YouTube, we're making some big changes with our own YouTube channel. So if you don't already subscribe to our YouTube channel, do that right now while you're thinking about it, because I don't want you to miss out. That's over at youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. All right, back to the phones we go with Mary in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Hi there, Mary.
Hello. I want to thank you for taking my call and my question.
Pleasure. My pleasure. What's going on?
So we are building a house in Florida, and we also have a home in Wisconsin. And we've done this maybe about 15 years ago, and that was back when we had check registers, and I was able to, go through my check register and keep track of where all the money went. Mm-hmm. So far into this project, and they haven't even really started building the house, we've had money go out through a couple of different wire transfers. We've had a couple of checks, and today I put a big deposit on a credit card. And I guess my question would be, I'm looking for some app that I would have with me at all times, because we're back and forth, and I don't always have my laptop with me to create like a spreadsheet, but some way that I'm able to enter these outgoing expenses and maybe even categorize them and keep track of them in one place. So I can, if we pay somebody, I can just add it to an app and have it tell me where I'm at. And even going forward, like when we start buying furniture, maybe having a category for that. So kind of looked at project management apps, and they all seem like they're much more complex and set for like people in business and so on and so forth. So I was wondering if there was something more simplified for this.
Well, I'll tell you, Mary, I'm building a house too. And whatever cost they told you, it's going to be double. I'm just telling you right now.
Well, we're already $23,000 over our budget, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, because they complain about the supply issues, and then there's the cost of lumber and steel, and I'm just so tired of hearing all the excuses. And I've been working on this for over 4.5 years, and I'll tell you, I will never build another house in my entire life. It is just
I kind of enjoy it, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, do you? You know what? I did enjoy it until it became too stressful. I enjoyed it when everything was going swimmingly along, but the contractor has missed the last 6 dates that he has given us. And just last week, my husband, Barry, they were talking in the dining room, and I was in the kitchen, so I was like earshot, right? And so Barry said to the contractor, so, do you think you're going to make this Thanksgiving deadline? Do you think you're going to make it? And the contractor said, well, I'm really hoping. And then I said in the kitchen, I just blurted it out. I said, I'll believe it when I see it. And the contractor actually came in the kitchen. He came in the kitchen, Mary, and he looked at me and he said, with his big eyes, he looked at me and said, Kim, I understand your frustration because I've missed every single deadline that I've given you. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So it doesn't give me a lot of confidence that you're going to make the Thanksgiving Day one either.
Well, the last time we built a house in Florida 15 years ago, I actually was a squatter in it for a couple of days before we had our certificate of occupancy. So if it comes down to that, you just figure out a way to make it work.
Well, that's what we ended up doing, is that we have a squatter who's sitting there saying, okay, let's make sure we do it. All right. Let me just tell you how I'm doing it. And then, and I'm also, you use iPhones? Is that it? Are you Apple?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because it's the same way that I'm doing. Okay. I've tried, and maybe my project was too complex, and I'm happy to share some apps that I've tried with you. I tried a few apps and it just wasn't working for me. So what I ended up doing is an Apple Sheets, because everybody gets Sheets for free for Apple, and I have it done I've done it like my way that works for me, and then I can
What's
link
an Apple
this.
Sheet?
It's like Excel, but it's out for free from Apple. Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But what you can do is you can link the cell to an invoice. And so if you double click on the cell, then that invoice pops up. So you can see what comprised of everything along the way.
Okay.
I also have the contractor, when he gives me, every week, he gives me a spreadsheet that tells me how much over budget he is. Because they're never under budget. Let's just face that. They're going to be over budget.
No. Right.
And so then I can look at that quickly and see the red cells and say, okay, why are we over budget? And if we are over budget here, we have to get under budget someplace else. I'm not really sure where that is.
Right. Right.
The thing that I have found most useful is to make them do a Gantt chart. Have you gotten anything like that from the contractor?
No. What is that called?
It's called a Gantt chart. Gantt chart. Okay.
Okay.
A Gantt chart will show you how the construction process for the house. And then there will be critical factors, like maybe we complete the foundation before we can put any framing in. And so the framers can't start. I'm giving you a very basic example, obviously. The framers can't start if there's no foundation. So if the foundation moves out, then the framing will move out. So you can see how the project, these milestones aren't being met. And hopefully your contractor is better than mine. But you can see how this affects. And of course, there are always things that are beyond control, acts of God, right? Maybe there's trouble with getting windows. In my case, it was steel. Another problem that we had was that when we were digging down for the garages, is that we hit, 100-year-old granite, which required, somebody tapping down. And so every time I go over there, Mary, and I'd hear like tap, 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 right? And every time I did, my head went 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, as far as to get this in. So that's what I did, is to put this. I know you said, you don't want to do a spreadsheet, but you can open that up on your phone and then you can have it linked to different things so you have all that information.
Is Apple Sheet, is that like an app then?
It's Apple Sheets. Yeah, it's Apple Sheets. It's just called Sheets. Okay. It's Apple Sheets. But what I'm going to do is, let me also do this for you, is that I'm going to give you some links to some apps that I tried. And I'll put those inside the Commando community. And so if you go to commando.com/community in the Q&A forum, that's where you'll find, I tried 4, and I ended up saying, you know what, forget this. I'm just going to do it my way. That seems to make sense for me. But maybe the apps are something that you will find particularly helpful. But be sure to get that Gantt chart and make sure that contractor knows that he has to stick to that Gantt chart. I really should have been harder in making sure that these milestones were met, and that's a problem that I'm accepting that I didn't do right. I should have been a little bit harder when all that stuff was coming down. But anyway, Mary, I'm going to put all those links over at commando.com/community in the Q&A. And hey, don't forget about security cameras. You can put those up. If you have a neighbor that you can borrow your internet connection from, that's what I did, so that this way I have Wi-Fi cameras all over, but I'm using the neighbor's internet and just as a favor. So that may be something that you might want to look at too. I'll post a link to those cameras that I used as well. All right, you're probably making some mistakes with your home security system that will make you less safe. Like, for example, I noticed that I started ignoring all the notifications because the security cameras would go off outside every time a tree moved. And so what you want to do is you want to get in there and start putting actually like the areas that it should cover and it shouldn't cover, and stop annoying those notifications. You also want to adjust the activity zones, and this is where the camera focuses on. You could have different zones for each camera. The front of the house, you really need to record and be notified every time a car drives by. Probably not, but if somebody's on the sidewalk walking towards the house, absolutely. And also the motion sensitivity. You can tweak how much or how little your camera records. It will save storage space, but also will limit the number of notifications that you're getting. Over on commando.com, we have all the steps on how to do each of these. for Simply Safe, which is, of course, a sponsor of the show and great security system, Ring, and also Arlo cams. Nest, unfortunately, doesn't have some of these settings. And so if you want more information about this, just head over to the website. That's komando.com, komando.com. And when you're there, just hit the link that says Kim Show. Hey, we have still to come. We have more of your phone calls as well as a tip on the 3 steps that you need to do before you trade in or before you sell an old phone here on the Kim Komando Show.
How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Hey, let's talk about your home. I mean, we bought a house in Los Angeles for Ian to live in while he's going to college because the rents are just crazy there and the mortgage rates were so low. It's a beautiful home, but the front yard, it really needed an overhaul. It had absolutely no curb appeal. So we saw what the neighbors did down the street and we decided, hey, you know what? We're going to modify what they did and try to make it even better. And then came the tricky part. Choosing a contractor. You end up with the wrong person. Even the smallest job is a total nightmare. And that's why I'm sharing with you 3 questions that you need to ask before you hire somebody for a home renovation, big or small. First of all, how long have you been in business? And then also look at their contractor rating over on the county website. You also want to see some examples and maybe get some references. And don't stop at just browsing a photo gallery online and looking at images on their phone. You should be able to chat with a past client or two. And if the contractor that you're speaking with is hesitant to show you any past work or connect you with references, that's just a big red flag. And also, number 3, what's the best way to reach you? I know that sounds crazy, but is it going to be email, text, or phone, or email, whatever it may be? Just make sure that you have this straight when you start the project. Now, one question that you always want to make sure is the person licensed, bonded, and insured? I mean, that's crucial for protecting yourself. But how do you find that person? How do you find a person that you trust? Well, I found on Angie.com, the contractor do the front yard, the backyard. I found a housekeeper, a plumber. I use Angie to find the best qualified person for any home improvement project or repair. Angie will connect you with real professionals. You have to scour the web and start Google searching for reputable sources. With Angie, that's what I love about it. You can search real customer reviews, request quotes, and book your home improvement project all in one place. You just can't beat Angie. It's the best. So whether it's lawn care, fixing the AC, putting in a pool, tackling that dream project, that remodel, Angie is the trusted home improvement source that can help. Home projects have never been so simple, so don't wait to get your projects done, especially if you're thinking about having some folks over for Thanksgiving. Now's the time you want to get this going. So do what I did. Download the free Angie app for your iOS or Android device, or go to the website, Angie.com. You're going to love Angie as much as I do. You're going to use them time and time again. Once again, that's Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. All right, let's see. Lynn in Miami, Florida. Hi there, Lynn.
Hi, congratulations on your home. I hope you get to move in one day.
Me too. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I gotta tell you just a real quick story. I bought my dream home in New Jersey, and there was an oil painting over the bed. My sister said, we should really put that somewhere else. I took it off, and I was facing a squirrel. There was an actual hole. I don't know whether there was supposed to be a window. I'm looking at a squirrel, and my sister said, "Put the painting back up." So that's what goes on when you buy a house. Believe me.
So did you wait? Whoa! I want hold on just a sec. Now, did you hear like scratching at night and wondering what it was?
No, but I had a desire to eat walnuts. No, I don't know what to tell you. I just had to get a guy in, and I have used Angie, by the way, and I do love them, and they're very reputable,
awesome.
and they're reasonable too, you know. But we all have these war stories about our homes, believe me. I'm not a techie by any means. My smart hard drive disk started to fail. I couldn't update, so I bought a new HP computer. Then I was talking to somebody in a store, and she said, you know, they're having problems with the processor. It's an AMD Ryzen. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
That's fine. That's fine.
But it blips during the video playback. And then they said the Windows 11 issues. You know, I'm a senior citizen. I feel like I'm talking about myself. And then she said to me, we have a lot of people bringing in these computers now. So do I buy another HP? Do I look for another brand? My nephew refuses to talk to me unless I buy Mac.
Well, okay, let's talk about this one. There was a problem with what's called the TPM on the chip. And without getting technical, normally there's a separate chip on the board. There were some problems. They tried to fake it. I would demand a full refund for the machine. And your nephew is probably smart. Once you go Mac, you never go back.
He is smart.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I am all Mac all the time, all Mac, because I just don't want to have to deal with Windows, blue screens, incompatibility drivers.
Oh, it's been a
memory
nightmare.
issues. It just goes on, and it's like, why? Life is too short. Well, yeah, to build your own house and to deal with Windows, especially at the same time. So let's do this, Lynn. Let's figure out how we can get you the right MacBook if you want a laptop, or the right MacBook, and see if you can get your money back on that. And we have a MacBook buying guide. We'll go ahead and send that to you, Lynn, if somebody wants to make a note, and everybody else will put it inside the Commando community. Okay, you may be thinking about getting a brand new phone. Well, here's the thing. Think of everything that you have saved on your phone, your email, your text, your photos, videos, chats, saved passwords, along with all the apps, banking information, credit cards, even some cash. So before you get a new phone, what I want you to do is do the right steps to get rid of the old one. Back up everything from the old one to an online account. Sign out of every app on your phone. This way your old phone is no longer associated with your accounts. And finally, do a factory reset on your old phone. This puts the phone back to the state where it was when you first purchased it. Now, if you need those steps, just make sure that you search for getting rid of an old phone, for example, over at commando.com, and stay right where you are. We have another jam-packed, fun-filled hour of the show you don't want to miss here on the Westar Multimedia Network. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Commando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And thanks for listening.